This is TWiT.
As we know, we talked about it last week, Facebook was hit with the heavy fine from Russia of $46.53. Wow. That's
like 1
staggered them.
nanosecond interest on their cash.
Yeah. However, the news came as a result of last Wednesday's quarterly report to the shareholders that they're expecting that they may be hit with a little bit more substantial fine from the U.S. Federal Trade Commission, maybe as much as $5 billion, related not even to the most recent problems, but several years back to the whole Cambridge Analytica data disclosure. So what appears to be happening is that as has to be done when you're a publicly traded company, you generally want to paint a very sober picture of your publicly traded company's expectations so that you're not hit with a bunch of shareholder lawsuits. I mean, that happens anyway, but you certainly want to minimize it and establish the best position you could. In their written release, which corresponds to this set-aside of $5 billion, which they said was in, quote, in connection with the FTC's investigation of its user data practices. In their written release, they said in the first quarter of 2019, I love the wording of this, we reasonably estimated a probable loss and recorded an accrual of $3 billion in connection with the inquiry of the FTC into our platform and user data practices, which accrual is included in accrued expenses and other current liabilities on our condensed consolidated balance sheet. We estimate that the range of loss in this matter is $3 billion to $5 billion. The matter remains unresolved, and there can be no assurance as to the timing or the terms of any final outcome. So anyway, as we know, a year ago, last March in 2018, the FTC announced that it was launching an investigation into Facebook's data privacy practices, which were triggered by the Cambridge Analytica revelations. The FTC is specifically investigating whether Facebook has violated a consent decree. I mean, so this is the problem is in 2011, Facebook agreed that they essentially would not do this. And so now the question is, having made that agreement 8 years ago, did they violate that? And the consent decree that Facebook agreed to said that they would agree to receive explicit permission from users before sharing their data with third parties. And then Mark Zuckerberg, in a conference call last Wednesday, with the shareholders, said that he plans to forge ahead with what he calls, and we talked about this also last week when I said they ought to just, scrap it. I mean, like, it's such a disaster. They're like discovering logs, like, oh, look. I mean, if we're to believe this, there's no way to paint this so that it seems good. They're discovering logs of millions of additional usernames and passwords that they didn't know they had. Anyway, he said he wants to create a privacy-focused social network. He did not refer to the FTC fine or the company's even the more recent data handling problems. However, the company's CFO, I guess you pronounce his name Wehner, Wehner, he commented that, quote, we anticipate ad targeting related headwinds. Leo, isn't that a shame? They're having to tack against the headwinds. We anticipate ad targeting related headwinds will be more pronounced in the second half of 2019. Wow, ad targeted related headwinds. Anyway, he noted that he expects new regulations to affect the company's business going forward. Meaning they may not be able to play as fast and loose as they have before. So anyway, I just wanted to note that the world is paying attention to these things, and the U.S. government is taking this a little more seriously than Russia has so far.